Hello, everyone. Today is February 9th, 2025. Just wanted to make a quick video about Fed rate cuts and why they'll be late no matter what. Welcome to the Josh Delosier Investments Personal Finance channel. Today we're going to deep dive into Fed rate cuts and how to better understand the Federal Reserve's decision making and how it affects your investments and what you can do to stay ahead. And you're definitely in the right place. First off, what's happening with the Fed rate cuts? We've got the Federal Reserve that's kept interest rates steady despite rising and certain new tariffs shaking up the economic outlook. Even with the inflation nearing, the Fed's 2% target, the central bank is holding off on rate cuts, waiting to see how President Trump's trade policies and tariffs play out. The rate cuts remain at 4.25% to 4.5% since December. Tariffs are expected to push prices higher, possibly causing a one-time inflation surge. The Fed is cautious. They're watching for both rising unemployment and inflation, making their next move uncertain at this point. Why the Fed is always late, we can break that down real quick. First thing, we've got timing. The Fed reacts to economic data, not forecasts. By the time data confirms a slowdown or inflation spike, it's often too late to act preemptively. This lag means rate cuts usually come after the economy has already slowed or risks have materialized. Second thing we got to pay attention to is despite political pressure, including calls from President Trump for cuts to offset tariffs, the Fed maintains its independence. They won't move rates just because of market or political noise. They need clear evidence from the data. Other than that, the Fed's dual mandate is to keep inflation low and employment high. Right now, both inflation and unemployment risk are rising, creating a stagflation scenario. This makes it even harder for the Fed to justify cuts quickly. Then we got markets and analysts are signaling rate cuts could come as soon as July. But the Fed's own statements remains cautious. They want to see more data before acting, especially with so much uncertainty from tariffs and global growth. A few reasons why rate cuts should matter to you. There's cheaper loans. Lower rates mean cheaper borrowing for consumers and businesses, boosting spending and investment. For business investment, you have lower financing costs, helping companies hire and expand. For the stock market, rate cuts often push stock prices higher and bond yields lower. And for personal portfolio, you can look at my portfolio, which I'm up 32% in the past month. We found support in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So it's been pretty easy, day trading. You can get all my stocks picks on Twitter and also on TikTok, as well as Instagram. Just type in Josh Delosier Investments. If the Fed waits too long, the benefits of rate cuts can arrive after the damage is done. Most economists expect the Fed to cut rates later in 2025. Possibly, we've got July, and then we may see another 1-2 rate cuts later on, later in the year, just depending on, how the economy reacts and, how inflation remains, and the jobless reports, are the major driving factor whether we get 2 rate cuts or 3 rate cuts this year. Financial markets are pricing up to 3 cuts in 2025. We'll just have to wait and see. I kind of believe there'll be 2, but that's just my prediction. The majority of people are ready for rate cuts since April. Stocks just got crushed. Bitcoin fell by over 20%. So did a lot of these large cap companies. Nvidia, had a pullback. Eli Lilly, pretty much any of the top 10 companies in the world, they all seen 10 to 20% drop in price. So that's where a lot of the pressure has been. That's causing all this talk about Fed rate cuts at the moment. Also, a few things you can do. You can watch the data, not just the headlines. Focus on inflation and jobs data, not just political statements or market rumors. Just paying attention to people's tweets and headlines. There's all types of new news coming out. But, if you just pay attention to the Fed every month, you can see where inflation's at and the jobless claims, and you can stay pretty much on track. Another big thing is diversify your portfolio. Periods of uncertainty can create moves in stocks and bonds that are pretty volatile. Ton of money to be made if you know what you're doing, if you're more advanced. You can join me live on TikTok Live between 7:30 and 8:30 to learn how to trade using technical analysis with fundamental analysis. When you pair those two together, you can see amazing gains in markets that are very volatile like this. Also, it's really important to stay informed. You can subscribe to this channel for regular updates and analysis on Fed policy, the markets, and on personal finance. We got videos on dollar cost averaging, shorting the markets. We got Fed rate cuts today. Also talk about credit, risk tolerance. Anything from basically large cap stocks to dividend investing for more conservative investors. It's whatever you care to talk about. Also, be sure to get a free $40 worth of cryptocurrency by clicking on the Coinbase referral link in the comments below. I think the last time I clicked on there and checked, I had $73 left unclaimed. So I've got to probably get to work on that tonight. Just do the learning iron. You can make an easy $2 to $5 every month from then on. So, it's free crypto money every single month. I always transfer it to Bitcoin. And, it should be doing pretty well today with Bitcoin actually up to 103,000. The market's doing really well. So, great time to take profits. Also, I have a Webull referral link. Get a free stock from Webull. It's in the comments below. It's a win-win. Kind of did the Webull challenge last year. Had an amazing year. Day trading Nvidia was up over 70,000 in Nvidia. So it's a lot of fun. Went to New York and a few other places. So be sure to check out my other videos. Also trying to get this account monetized. So please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have any comments, please leave in the comments below whatever stocks you'd like to talk about. I'd be more than happy to deep dive into which other, whether it's Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, it doesn't really matter. You can make a video on any large cap companies as well as any mid caps, just whatever you want to talk about. Then, this video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Always consult with a qualified advisor before making investment decisions. Appreciate everyone watching this video. Check out Josh DeLozier Investments. It's my personal investment company. And if you'd like a one-on-one consultation, hit me up. I'd be more than happy to help you with your own investments. If you become a client, give a free consultation. Just be sure to email me, and we'll make some definitely make some nice games with NVIDIA with clients, as well as this year. Eli Lilly's done exceptionally well in the last downturn in 2022. So really, it's everything's cyclical. Now that Eli Lilly's down, we've got smaller stocks such as Spotify doing exceptionally well, trading at all-time highs. A lot of money be made in Palantir. I bought Palantir at 108.50, and I turned around and sold it at 112. Sold a little bit early, but just wanted to lock in my profits this week. Finished the month strong, up 32%. So it's been a good month. Looking to do the same next month. But be sure to check us out on TikTok, and we'll talk more. Appreciate everyone watching the video. Have a great weekend.